Can you click it on the back? What am I clicking?
Aiden, can you click on that we're recording that thing?
No, congressional.
We're gonna go ahead and get the meeting started. It is now 6:30. Okay, so Susie, can we click twice? All right, welcome everybody to the LD12 meeting today, Monday, September 11th. I just want to remind you that our meeting is 6:30, so thank you. If you want to come early, the door will be open up at 6 o'clock. And Kima has offered to sell any kind of wine and spirits so you can enjoy your LD meeting. LD meetings are always better with alcohol. We have a lot of stuff on our agenda tonight. Susie, focus on my the agenda. At the front, we had a printed agenda. So everything is on there. Oh, there it goes. I do wanna. Can I get everybody to quiet down, please? We're starting the meeting. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. All right, tonight's agenda is jam-packed. We are going to try to get you out on time. It is going to be tight. I'm going to let you know now. We have a lot of speakers for tonight and a lot of things are going on. So just keep that in mind. Next slide. As you all know, today is September 11th, so we would like to take a moment of silence to recognize that day that we will never forget, because I'm sure we all remember where we were on that day. Thank you. Thank you. We are going to welcome Doreen, who is going to give us some land acknowledgement for tonight. Keep in mind, if you were a speaker for tonight, the people on Zoom can only see you when you stand in the little Zoom box. So
Zoom box. All right. Thank you.
Arizona LD12 Democrats acknowledge the land we gather on today is the ancestral home of the indigenous nations that have inhabited these lands at time immemorial. We take this opportunity to thank the Hohokam, including the Akum Pima and the PHX Maricopa, peoples of the past, present, and future for their traditional care of this land and their resilience. Attached to this physical space is a painful history of forced removal, resulting in intentional genocide of its indigenous people. This history is important to all of us as a reminder not to cause further harm. We remain appreciative of our ability to teach, learn, and serve in a space of such importance and reverence. Continue. Susie, next slide, please. Thank you. So I'm going to give you just a real quick, I've got 5 minutes, so I'm going to try to go pretty quickly. I was going to have my husband here to talk about the Ancestral Footprints National Park, but he was not able to get here in time. So luckily he wrote me a little speech so I can tell you guys a little bit more about it. And that is the first slide we're going to do. On August 8th, President Biden used his presidential authority under the Antiquities Act to proclaim a new national park. And I was asked to share a little bit about this with my husband. First, in full disclosure, this is not something I've been working on or had anything to do with, other than supporting my husband, who has been working on this issue since he left Intel in 2015. And I'm really proud that he was a part of this as the executive director for the Arizona Wildlife Federation. It does have amazing and significant, huge significance for the state of Arizona, Native Americans, and for me personally. The Baj, Nawapo, Itakubeni, ancestral footprints of the Grand Canyon National Monument. Not only has the longest name that you could ever say for a national monument, but it was set up to protect almost 1 million acres around the Grand Canyon National Park. And if we can go to the map. My next slide. Oh, I'm so sorry, it's so hard to see. The map you see here shows 3 sections of the monument, and it's outlined in green. So I will try to point. So this is part of the new monument, that part, and right here. I'm sorry for the people online that you cannot see that. This is the Grand Canyon Park already. This area right here has already been preserved, so there can be no mining in that at all. Up here is Lake Powell, down here is Lake Mead. And so this is the Colorado River, right by here. And this is Ahwatukee Creek. In the Grand Canyon National Park, in the purple running through the middle of the map shows you how large that area is that is already protected. There are a lot of good things that have come from this monument designation, but I'll boil it down to just a couple that I think are really important. The first is the monument adds protection from the risks of uranium mining. And again, if you look on the map, it'll show you there's little yellow dots on here, and all those yellow or goldish spots that you see right there are all mining claims that are currently there. If you pay attention to one of the areas, so what they're concerned about is the watershed that ends up going into the Colorado River from these uranium mines. Right about here, I can't keep the silver so far away, right about there is where Red Butte was, and that is where President Biden went to sign the proclamation. The Red Butte is really important to the Ahwatukee tribe because that is part of their creation story. And so they wanted to make sure that that is part of the protection, and that's part of the protection that all of the tribes are looking for, is those ancestral lands. While a few mines are still existing, they are grandfathered in and will likely be allowed to operate with tougher restrictions. This proclamation makes it harder for the ones that are currently working that we can't shut down. But it creates a pretty good buffer around the Grand Canyon and the Colorado River. Second, it better protects cultural sites and places sacred to several Native tribes. And like I said, it's one of the areas was Red Butte, where Biden just was. Finally, and I'm personally most encouraged by this monument was designated specifically at the request of Native Americans, and the tribes will be the advisors in the management of this monument, and that is really significant for all of us. President Biden's administration is continuing a precedent set by President Obama to consult with tribes about how to best manage our public lands. And think about it, 150 years ago, the United States was pushing the Havasupai, the Hopi, and the Navajo onto reservations and off of their cultural ancestral lands. And now we look at this, this monument and we see that we are getting some of those lands back, and we're finally circling back to recognize and respect the voices of those tribes in managing that land that once belonged to them. It takes courage and leadership to make things like this happen. And it wouldn't have happened without leadership in Arizona, including sponsors, Congressman Grijalva, Senator Sinema, Governor Hobbs, and a president who is willing to listen to Native voices. So from my ancestors, our Hopi ancestors, the Havasupai ancestors, I want to say thank you to all of the people, because I know there was so much support from the people in the state of Arizona. So I just want to say thank you so much. And that is my presentation. Did I get it in 5 minutes?
My timekeeper says yes. Good job. Thank you so much. We are going to, because you guys all loved our dogs of LD, here's your cats of LD. But you won't get any visit this time.
What time are you gonna do this?
It's only a minute.
Oh. Yay. Yay. Thank you. Hello, amazing LD12 Democrats. My name is Ajlan. You can call me AJ. I'm your second vice chair. As you know, as an LD, we are trying to be more active in our communities, trying to do some outreach stuff by volunteering. And I must say we are inspired by Francine's work all the time. That's amazing. Right now we have an opportunity. We're participating for our City Chandler event on October 21st. City of Chandler, they have a neighborhood resource program which helps neighbors throughout the year actually to maintain, to help them maintain their neighborhoods. And then once a year, the City of Chandler brings everybody together, more than 50 different projects, 50 different groups of volunteers, and in one day, they revitalize the whole neighborhood. It's actually not even a day. Job starts in the morning and ends in the middle of the afternoon. So half a day, they finish the whole neighborhood. So it's a very exciting, amazing opportunity to participate and help the city. And we have a project for us. It's very easy. It's just a painting job. It's going to be on October 21st again. It's a 12-person job. So I need 12 volunteers to join us to do that job. And the nice part is they give you an entertainment afterwards when you finish your project, and it comes with a beautiful T-shirt that it says that you participated on that. The links and sign-up sheet, I think there is one out there, but also Susie will email you. Hopefully we can see 12 of you there, or 11. I'll be there, so I need 11 of you. It's just a neighborhood wall, actually. I know that much. It's very easy. 2 years ago, I participated on that, and we painted fences of one young or nice lady.
Or just
Just painting, yes, that's it. Very easy. But it's a good thing, and it's going to be great to show that LD12 is out there and participating and helping the community. So thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you. All right. So we still don't have our welcome packets because Janie decided to go on vacation. So we are waiting for her to get back into the country. But we would like to recognize anybody here who this is your first time attending an LD12 monthly meeting. So if you just want to raise your hand so we can just recognize you in person, say hi. Oh, great. So.
Hi, I'm Tyler Hackney. I'm from Tempe.
Well, we will take 2 new people. We like new people, so bring people to our meetings, we have fun. All right, next up, Sherry. Oh, elected officials. Sherry will introduce our elected officials. But while we introduce our elected officials, we're gonna put the next slide up. Because don't forget, one of our biggest fundraisers is our Bada Bing raffle basket. We have 2 wonderful baskets over there. Please buy your raffle tickets to win one of these great prizes to come with you today. You do not have to be in person to buy a raffle ticket because there will be something in check. Go, take it away, Sherry.
Thank you. Tonight we have Mayor Corey Wood from Tempe in the back. We also have Doreen Garland from Tempe. We have Armando Montero, President of Tempe Community Council District. Councilman Kim Robinson from City of Phoenix. Am I missing anybody? Anybody else? No? All right, those are our elected officials. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you very much. I have my phone.
Next slide, Susie. Thank you. I am Sherry Duncan, first vice chair, and I handle PCs and volunteers. And I wanted to give you guys a quick update of how we're doing in terms of recruiting and maintaining our PC. We started the year with 170 PCs, which are precinct committee persons across our district. We have appointed 22 PCs since then. We've had 5 PCs move out of the district. So we are at a net total of 187 PCs in LD12. These numbers are phenomenal, and I'm not sure if there's another LD in Maricopa County that has more than us, but we still need more. We have a lot of vacancies, particularly in the Chandler area, which is one of the reasons why we're doing so much outreach in those areas, but we want to do the outreach throughout the district. So we're planning events in Tempe, we're planning events in Ahwatukee, and of course, we're planning events in Chandler. So if you know anybody that's interested in becoming a PC, it's not a huge commitment. The bottom line is we're trying to get Democrats elected from the top to the bottom, and we meet you where you are. So whatever way that you like to volunteer, whether that's writing postcards, whether that's collecting signatures, we're happy to accept the help. One thing that we are going to start doing soon, even though it seems like it's really far away, we need to start collecting PC signatures to be reelected as PCs. We can start now. So we've already identified a couple people, Patricia Bott in Ahwatukee and Melanie Magasos in Tempe, that are going to start contacting our current PCs to ask them if they want to continue. And we're going to get the forms prepared for you so that at the next meeting, if you're ready to go, you can start collecting signatures here or at any of the signing events that we're going to have for upcoming initiatives or referendum. So we are looking for somebody that will do that same job in Chandler. So if you like calling people and data entry, let them know.
Thank you. I just want to remind you, one of the great things about being PC and LD12 is we do a lot of regular voting in our district, and you will get to vote in the winter convention with Maricopa County Democratic Party. So we are going to have a lot of open seats at the MCDP election, which was tentatively scheduled for December 2nd, I think the first Saturday. So keep that in mind, SPC, your voice will be heard. All right, next slide. All right. Well, okay, so I don't know two microphones. Okay, so our executive board is made up of, technically it is myself, Sherry, Joseph, Susie, and AJ. Those are the people that you elect. Because we recently did the bylaws, I'm adding 2 at-large seats. So for our bylaws, we are expanding the executive committee with 2 additional at-large committee persons, or at-large executive committee position. That means that they will get there'll be a voting member of the executive board. Sherry, myself, Joe, we are all executive board members. We would like to add these USDCs, get to vote on that. USDCs are able to apply for this, or at the next meeting, we will hold a election, just like we did back in January, I think it was, when we did our when we did rework. These at-large government members are like Jeff was doing. He does all of our help with fundraising, community outreach. Melanie Magasos, they are currently on the board, but they're not technically a voting member until USPCs vote them in. So if there's anybody else that wants to join the executive board, I don't have a lot of people knocking on my door, but if you do, we would love to have you, because we always need more help. There's always something to be done. Okay. With that also being said, we are adding 2 board members who will be non-voting board members, and these are the Maricopa Young Dems. So I'm gonna ask both of them to stand up. We had a few different people meet with us, but one of them is Tyler Haggerty. He is going to be joining our board. And then Eliza. Over there. They're gonna be trying to help us get more young Democrats involved, help us with different outreach to them. We think it's really important to get their perspective. And it's gonna be great to have them on our executive board. Okay, if there's any questions about this, please see me. I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have. Okay, upcoming events is the next slide. All right, I wanna make a note. We always have upcoming events, our regular meetings, we have our monthly meetings, we have Dems and Donuts every month. We have Watering Hole Wednesday every month, and then we always do additional events. One of them is the LD12 Maricopa County Tabulation Center private tour. We have a date change. If you signed up for the Maricopa County Tabulation Center, we had to change the date because they scheduled us on a holiday that we cannot go to. We didn't even realize it until like a couple weeks ago. So we are now going to be meeting at the Maricopa County Tabulation Center on Monday, December 4th at 10 a.m. It's the next slide. Sorry, I forgot to tell her. December 5th. Probably why I should put my glasses on. Oh, good Lord. Which one's the Monday? Somebody look it up real quick. Okay, Monday, December 4th. See, we should proofread these. Hey. Monday, December 4th, 10 a.m. We have 3 spots left. So if you really want to go, please make sure you sign up. If you have already signed up, I'll be sending you an email with where to park, how to get in, and everything like that. A couple weeks prior to the event, I have to give them a list of all the names of the people that are going. They require us to provide them with your names. Okay, so 3 spots left. If you want to go, Monday, December 4th, 10 a.m. It is a free event. I don't do a lot of free events. Keep that in mind. Francine here? All right. So, I'm gonna let Francine talk. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for quiet. I know.
So I am a complete crazy person, so I tried to organize a meal for the homeless while I was in Alaska on trains where I caught COVID. And then several people were making sandwiches, caught COVID. And I thought, oh, I'm gonna be making sandwiches or buying them. But it all worked out. I didn't have to make any sandwiches. We had plenty of salad, plenty of food. People who dropped out, other people stepped up, and I just want to recognize some people. That's my teacher voice. I want to recognize Carol Blackman. Without her help, I wouldn't have it done that. Let me tell you what, if she's in charge of the next elections, it's gonna be all Democrats. Ellen Ford, all the desserts, and she's sending me 10 sleeping bags tomorrow. Mary Lou Moore, Kathy Beebe, Sherry Johnson, Teresa Akrish, Linda Cook, Jim Huey, Aurelia Barrera, and I'm sure I forgot some people. Now, if you didn't get a donation receipt, I know there was somebody who handed me a 20 and I bought salads. If you need an heiress receipt, let me know. I have one left, and I forgot the Kyrie Resource Center, I have a bunch of receipts there if you brought school supplies and you want a tax write-off. So, moving on, it was astonishing to see Eris work their magic. There was a long line, and let me tell you, the face of the homeless are over 60 men and women. That's what I saw. It is a serious, serious problem. They were very appreciative. They were all talking about the food and what they were gonna get, and by 7 o'clock, from 5 to 7, it was all gone. It's just amazing. They have shoes all organized. Somebody organizes the shoes. I wanna recognize Ellie for giving me a giant bag of men's shoes. Thank you. And everybody's appreciative. And then I started talking to Lynn Monroe, my connection, and she's like, oh yeah, some people do Caesar's pizza. I go, what? So next time it's Caesar's pizza and salad, and I will take money for that. But moving on, so our next project is for Threads, where my heart is, on Thursday from 2:30 to 4:30. The teen shop at Marcos Deniza, Tempe High, and Mountain Point. And we're collecting hoodies, preferably new but gently used, and jackets. So if you guys are going through your closets and getting rid of your jackets and getting a new one, we would be happy to have your gently used ones. Any questions? Teenagers, yeah. All right.
Thank you. Thank you for listening. Carrie, Laura?
Okay. One of the other great things that we do in the LD12 is the readers and leaders, I call it the book club.
Hi, I'm Kathy Beebe, and I participate along with other people in our LD Readers and Leaders. We meet on Zoom every third Tuesday at 7. And the book this month is Killers of the Flower Moon. And this summer we broke up the book 1619 into June, July, and August. It took so long, it was so needy, but it's the people in there have amazing positions. It's good to hear different positions. We don't all agree, which is great. But it's a launching point for discussion, and we've had other people outside our LD. We have people out of state that join, and it's a wonderful thing. If you like to read and want to be part of it, look us up. Any questions? The other thing is you don't have to buy the books. You can do audio, the libraries. They're wonderful. Libby, if you belong to Libby, in our public library. So it's a way to access. Tempe Libby is great. Thank you.
Next slide, Susan, please. I know. Really quick, before we get on to our next speaker, I wanted to point out that we have brand new t-shirts for sale. We had a very generous member of our community have t-shirts printed, encouraging voting. Paul, stand up, Dana, Tracy, representing a lot of the things that are important to Democrats. So we're giving the, what's the word I'm looking for? Profits to the LD. So you can get those for $20. Okay, next up is we have Nia Amazeen. She is a PT with us in our and she about the repeal the right to work laws for Arizona Works Together. Please welcome Nia.
I did not expect that picture to go up there.
It was a while ago.
I'm Nia Amazeen. I'm a PC in Wagner precinct here in LD12. Also the Union Coalition Lead for Arizona Works Together. Do we have that slide also? I think we're fine.
Next slide.
Yes. And I'm a proud member of United Campus Workers at ASU. So I'm a union member as well. It's a great thrill to address my LD up here. This is like so exciting for me. So I'm here to talk to you about Arizona Works Together, which is a new PAC that we've established. We launched an initiative to repeal right to work in Arizona last weekend, Labor Day weekend. Isn't that cool? Now, I know probably most of you understand the significance of that law, the right to work law. But let me just walk through a few points. One thing that I find very interesting is that it was voted into existence in 1946 by just 61,000 citizens. Oh, I have to stand right here.
Not that close.
I have to stand here.
There's.
Okay. I'm a professor. We don't stand still. We walk around. Everyone, so I will try my best. So 61,000 people. Do you know how few people that is? ASU's Tempe campus has 55,000 people on it. There are over 80,000 students at ASU, and so very few citizens actually voted this into existence. It wasn't just that we had a small population at that time. That was a bare majority of the voters who were voting that in. So, so that's what we've been living with for the past almost 80 years. Then right to work sounds like it's pro-worker, but it's really not. It's quite the opposite. It's pro-management. It tells workers that they don't have to join unions in their workplace, and that weakens their ability to act in unions, act collectively with each other to better their situations. So right to work inherently divides us. It tells every worker, you don't have to have a union. You can work, you can ask your boss individually for a raise, and maybe they'll take mercy on you and give you a better raise, a better salary, better working conditions. And so everyone has to go about this individually. You can individually grovel for better wages and fair working conditions. You can leave and find another job, and hopefully you'll get health insurance at that job too, if you don't like the conditions of this job. So it weakens unions because it discourages workers from joining, funding, that's important, and working for the collective benefit of everyone in the workplace. The consequence, workers in right to work states make on average $10,000 less per year than workers in right to work states. That's a huge amount of money. Because our pro-business Republicans know that together the workers of the state far outnumber the bosses, and so they want to divide us all. And so right now, I believe we're at a critical point. Now's the time to repeal this. We saw in the last administration tax cuts for the extreme wealthy, for large corporations, while instead we were all battling it out. We're fighting inflation, higher food prices, higher gas prices, really unaffordable housing for a lot of us. And so the ordinary people are getting mad about that. Over the pandemic, millions of people were forced back into the workplace, died, before a vaccine or other precautionary measures were even available. And ordinary people got mad. AI is already taking jobs away from workers, and it's only going to get worse, because I studied AI 1 minute, and people thought I was censoring myself. So the wage gap,
1 minute and 15 seconds.
the wage gap, the quality of living gap has gotten worse. To put my science into it, it's a positive feedback loop. So rich are getting richer, poor are getting poorer. And so I believe that now's the time that we have to stand up and fight back. So now's the time. I'll just put out a few hundreds of thousands of numbers here. 40,000 graduate students and postdocs at the UC, University of California, fought for better conditions and they won them.
And Arizona took notice because they gave our graduate students raise as a consequence. This summer, 340,000 Teamsters did practice pickets and threatened to go on strike, and people who wanted their packages were getting upset, and they noticed. This summer, SAG-AFTRA, that's 160,000 SAG-AFTRA members went on strike, and people who like their entertainment they were noticing. And then just last month, 26,000 flight attendants from APFA, Association of Professional Flight Attendants, they authorized a strike with 99.47% of the vote. And you bet that people who fly are gonna notice when flights are canceled because the flight attendants aren't showing up, right? So now's the time. Together, we're hundreds of thousands of workers fighting for what's right. So I'm asking you to join me today. Scan the QR code or look for one of us after the meeting. Bobby back there is steward of this, chair of this effort. Please let's get this thing on the ballot. You know, just like the abortion initiative, we need hundreds of thousands of signatures. So I'm asking you to work together with us. Arizona works together. And when we do that, we can win for the betterment of all of us. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you for coming. This is really important. Our next speaker is another initiative. This is Matthew Yatsayte with Healthcare Rising. He's going to talk about the another initiative we're going to work on.
To try to manipulate it.
Here.
Good evening, everyone. Jag är från Matthew Yatsayte initiative. Kappan hanıştı. Başladı böyle. Kayıt açında arav. Just had to introduce myself. I have Doreen's here, and kind of Navajos in the crowd. I always want to make sure that I introduce myself, so you know who you're talking to. But a lot of you also may know me as Matthew Yatsayte. I'm a community organizer with Healthcare Rising Arizona. We worked to take on and fight predatory debt collection practices last year, and we won. And now I'm done with great news, and I'm super excited to share this news. I've been looking forward to this all week because Healthcare Rising this year now, we are going to be a part of a coalition effort with Planned Parenthood, ACLU, Arizona WIS, NAROL. And this initiative is to do a constitutional amendment to protect our abortion rights within Arizona. Just over a year ago, next slide. Oh, next slide. Just over a year ago, with one quick move, we were set back 50 years. We all know this, we were all there. Our daughters, our sisters, our mothers, our aunts, our grandmothers, all lost that opportunity, that choice to make a choice for themselves. And that's one thing that's really pulled me last year as well, when we were trying to do it in such little time. There was so much movement among that. And now this gives us an even better opportunity because we have one of our biggest factors we need, time. But also on top of that time is we need numbers. There's a power in numbers. Nia knows this the most. There's always a power in numbers. As we talk about our union power, there's a power in numbers. And that's what I want to share with y'all now as a call. This week, we're already starting to prepare for it because we're still waiting back on legislative review. That's why I don't have necessarily official language on what's going to be in the initiative. Once we get that review, though, that's when we can get started printing. That's when we can start gathering signatures. The early.
Keep going. Nothing to see here.
The earliest we can see signatures, though, is looking like the 18th of this month. So essentially next week. We should be hearing back. One of our biggest opportunities, though, is we're going to be at the state fair, which we'll get into for a bit, because let's not put the carriage for the horse. We're going to be doing trainings this week, both in person as well as Zoom. These trainings are necessary, whether you've never gathered signatures before. If you've gathered signatures before, it's a good refresher, because we want to make sure that every single one of these signatures counts, just like every single vote counts, every single signature as well. Because opposition will look for any opportunity to throw everything and the kitchen sink at us. So we're gonna be doing trainings as well as train the trainer. If you're feeling like you have enough knowledge in the signature world that you want to train other people on how to gather these signatures properly, we have trainings coming up this week, Tuesday, 6:30 to 7, Wednesday, 6:30 to 7, Thursday, 6:30 to 7, as well as Saturday. We have one in the morning at 10 o'clock and then one in the afternoon at 2 p.m. as well. These are so we can know all the ins and outs on just how to fill out your petitions, how to talk about the initiative as well, but just to learn more in itself. But our big one of the largest events in Arizona, the State Fair, is coming up. It's actually coming up next weekend. So we have a booth there, and that's a way we can hit the ground running. We're able to gather over 10,000 signatures last year at the State Fair alone off of one event. And so that's why one thing we're stressing to a lot of people that it's key is that we have folks with us at the State Fair. The most valuable signatures are those of volunteers. And so that's what we want to do. We want to get as many volunteer signatures to show that there is a power in numbers. This is what we want as well. So that's what I'm sharing with all of y'all. These are some opportunities. If you have questions though, come up to me, come up to Kyle, go ahead and raise your hand, Kyle. Come up to us. If you want to join any of the trainings or have questions, come up to us and we'll get you signed up. We have a mobilize link, as well as most importantly for the State Fair. We're going to be there all month, so we're going to need people throughout the month as well. But most importantly, right now, we're going to need people for Saturday and Sunday late evening. So any of you night shift folks, come on over. And it's fair. Like there's never been a signature gathering event that's been dull. It's always been fun. You get to hang out, talk to a lot of people. It's fair. But I want to thank y'all again, and I just want to really stress again that there's power in numbers. And with LD12, I don't worry too much when it comes to getting out there. I've seen y'all get out there before. So let's show them that there's a power in numbers, just like we did in 2020, like last year in November, and let's show them again next year. Yeah.
Wanted to know when the training was again.
If you email it to us, we'll include it with the what did you miss at the meeting.
Okay, so for the person that was online that I just saw pop up, we'll include it in our follow-up email for what did you miss, so we'll get those to us. And I believe I signed up for the training. I know it's here in Ahwatukee.
Tomorrow at 6 o'clock.
Oh, no, I did not sign up for that one.
That one? Okay, Thursday, 6 o'clock. You should have trainer or volunteer? We'll talk more later. Yeah.
Let's do that. We will include it all in our email, all the different training opportunities. And just so you know, LD12 will have campuses. We will, we have Dana's house is going to be a hub location for Healthcare Rising. We will have petitions, we will have notaries, we will have pens and clipboards and everything you need to help collect signatures for Healthcare Rising, for the voters' rights, and there's others that will probably come out to workers' rights. I said voters, didn't I? I feel like we're always fighting for voters' rights. So don't worry, we have other people that are gonna be setting up in different cities, so we will make sure. Thank you. All right, our next guest tonight is Francesca Martin. She is the Deputy Director of Keep Arizona Blue Student Coalition, and she's going to be speaking to us about the power of the youth vote.
First of all, I want to thank Melissa and Sherry for having me speak here tonight. It's always good to talk to like a sister LD. I am a PC in LD13. And I have a lot of love for Ahwatukee, a lot of love for LD12. So really thank you for having me speak here today. And then if you want to go to the PowerPoint I provided. Okay, so welcome to Student Power with Keep Arizona Blue Student Coalition. LD12, if you want to go to the next slide. So first off, I'm going to talk a little bit before I get into what our organization does. I first want to explain a little bit about how I originally got involved in politics and in advocacy issues, which really started with my family. When my mom and her family were living in New York at the time, my grandfather, who was in the fire department in New York, was coming home from work one day, and he had stopped two people who are getting in a car fire on the bridge and helped save them, and they ran away, and he was left on the bridge and ended up getting second and third degree burns over 50% of his body. So they had a fight with the city. They didn't want to support him and pay his medical bills and make sure that my family was taken care for when my grandmother was just had her third child. And there was no one that was there for them except for the union, the International Association of Firefighters. So yeah, since I was a child, I joined the work of unions and how important labor is, especially having our political candidates be supporting labor and labor policies. So I want to segue to the next slide, because really every young person in this state has a story like that and has an issue that they grew up facing in their family, whether it directly affected them or not, where they know the importance of how politics affects everybody's lives. So the mission of Keep Arizona Blue Student Coalition, it happened right after the Biden election, after we ended it in victory with Students for Biden in 2020, where we were able to use the national campaign's resources on a statewide level and really learn what the operational side of what it takes to run a student organization and encourage young people to vote. And we realized that it needs to be a lot more done when it comes to financially investing in students. So it was founded when, myself, as well as a few others, were only just 16 years old. And now it's grown into something more than I can even comprehend myself. So really our main goals are to expand the youth electorate and then raise the next generation of campaign leaders. This photo itself actually has Marcus Senatheros, who's the youngest elected official in the state. He serves on a school board in West Phoenix. Yes, and when he made his speech to run, Keep Arizona Blue Student Coalition decided to support him and really back him, because every young person, especially a young person who decides to run for office, he was 17 while he was campaigning, deserves to have someone that'll be there and support them and knows what it takes to run for elected office. So if you want to go to the next slide. So a lot of the ways that we especially plan to ramp up our organization, and we did all these tactics in 2022 with $0, and now we're really ramping up our operational efforts statewide so that we are able to see the youth vote expand enough so that we get a Democratic majority in the legislature, and yes, when it expands and get more Democrats elected office. So a lot of ways we do this is voter registration. Something important to note is that it doesn't stop at voter registration. As we know, in the last election, out of registered student voters, 66% of students voted, while the national average was 80%. And that's not out of total voters, that's just out of already registered voters. So we need to go even further than registered students who vote, but also including students at the table. It's really important that campaigns, people running for office include students when they decide to run and hear their issues. The photo up there was actually of Patsy Serrano, who's here in the audience today. She was elected to the Chandler Unified School District. And she was the first Latina actually ever elected to that board. And she was the only school board member to even listen to students in that district. And we had put together a roundtable of a lot of diverse students across Chandler. And then also canvassing. We have a large field operation going on that we plan to be targeting young people in 2024, and having students target young people, because we know young people will listen to people who are their same age. And then a diverse social media strategy. We make sure to target, whether that be Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and curate our social media to those audiences, and then are meeting young people where they're at. Community events that target young people, and then also candidate workshops, not only to support young people running for office, but also to support people who may be farthest from that youth age block, and make sure that we're ensuring that they have a student-focused perspective on their campaign as well. Let me go to the next slide. So this is Arizona voter turnout overall for youth voters. These are shocking numbers. The 18 through 24 voting block only voted less than 25%, while the age group of 65 plus is voting at a much higher rate. Yeah, which isn't old, by the way. 65, no, but it's just older than the 18 through 24 block. Just that's not fine. Yeah.
5 minutes.
You want to go to the next slide? So as we can see, though, that small percentage of people voting is widely more Democrat than the older. I hate to say, I'm talking. And a lot of these campaigns are targeting that older independent voter. But if we go into and really try to get young people out to vote, we don't have to do persuasion camps. We don't have to do persuasion anything. They're already coming out to vote for Democrats. We know that. So it's really important that there is somebody in the state, statewide, making sure that we are putting money into getting young people out the same way other people put money into getting that 50-year-old independent out. Go to the next slide. This is a case study done at the University of Arizona. Go Sun Devils, go. Student voters, 39,000, 40,000 people. And the amount of student ballots cast was about 14,000. That's a 35% turnout rate for a concentrated area of students. This shouldn't have been missed by campaigns. This shouldn't have been missed by people who were in Tucson, but it was when we need to be putting money into getting young people out. And that's, I think, a really huge thing that we're seeing. And it didn't happen in 2018, especially in a huge blue wave, where there was a lot of Democratic sentiment at the time. Hopefully we can keep that up. If you want to go to the next. Skip this one, we'll come back to this slide. And then as you can see here, Arizona's Democrats are only winning by a very small amount. We don't have time to let the youth vote slip away from our hands, especially when we have our Attorney General only winning by 280 votes. So we don't have time to not think about young people when it comes to voting. You want to go to the next slide? Here's some of our target LDs. Our organization plans to really ramp up our operations statewide for 2, 4, 9, 13, 16, 17, and 23. Next one. Yeah. So if you want to go to the slide that had the QR code, we do have an email sign up going around, so you can be a part of our newsletter. So please sign up for that. There's many ways you can contribute to us. There should be a link going up on the Zoom as well. We have postcard writing opportunities. Please follow us on all of our social media platforms at @KeepAZBlue on everything. And then also contributions. Not only are they extremely important, but we extremely appreciate any size contribution that we can get, so that we really are able to build our capacity when it comes to 2024. As we know, our grassroots donors are the most important people to our campaign, what we plan to be doing. And this was really just a dream started by 4 16-year-olds, and now it's become bigger than I could ever imagine. So thank you so much for having me.
Next up, so I looked at it. Kevin Robinson, our Phoenix City Council, is going to talk to us about the GO Bond. Because here in Phoenix, we will be voting in the bond. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And she kind of stole my thunder, but that is exactly what I'm going to take a couple of minutes to talk about. Is Phoenix has an opportunity, and I know not everybody in here lives in Phoenix, but what happens in Phoenix so usually happens in the rest of the valley. So I think this is a good thing. We have a $500 million general obligation bond opportunity this November 7th. It's going to be a mail-in. That's right, I have slides, don't I? If we can go to the second slide, I forgot about it completely. We'll go to the second slide. Thank you. We have a $500 million general obligation bond opportunity that will, and I'll get into what it actually will fund. We have this opportunity to really move Phoenix forward, to really help Phoenix be a much better city than what it actually is right now. It's been real close to 20 years since we've had a bond election of this sort. And I'll get into more detail, and in the back of the room is Pasquale Luz, who is real big in directing this whole program. So if there's any specific questions, he'll be able to answer them. But the bond will not increase tax rates for anybody. Where the money is coming from, and I think this is critical, for every $100,000 assessed to your property tax, and this is a tax that's going to happen already, there's about $1. It's about 89 cents, something like that, but almost $1 is assessed per $100,000 assessment of your property. That is going to happen anyway. What we are presenting, or what we are asking, is that we go out, we sell these bonds, we get the money early, and what we're able to do is a host of things. If we go to the next slide, We will be able to do a host of things, and what you will see on this ballot are 4 questions. The 4 questions, if you answer yes to each and every one of them, the first one will be to enhance community safety through fire, police, roadway, and pedestrian infrastructure, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. Question number 2 will be to improve the quality of life of Phoenix neighborhoods. Question number 3 will be create an efficient, more modern Phoenix to live and work. And question 4 will be an enhance preserves, right? Enhance preserves and increase the supply of affordable housing and senior centers in Phoenix. What I think is most important when you look at that public safety, it's for the additional fire stations that we need in our community. Here in Ahwatukee, we were fortunate enough to get the newest fire station that will be breaking ground way out on Marketplace, way out on Chandler Boulevard, down by where is it? Trying to remember the park, and I can't remember the park for whatever. Desert Foothills Parkway. Thank you very much. It's been a long day already, but anyway, we're putting in a new fire station out there, and it'll be exactly what it is that we need, especially in that part of Ahwatukee. What it does, it decreases the response times. It's all the right things that are happening. What this bond will also do, we're getting that particular station. The money has been found for that. We're breaking grounds, but we're also building fire stations in other parts of the city that are desperately needed. Phoenix is growing by leaps and bounds, and it's important that we provide the necessary public safety that will keep people just that safe and sound. It also increases the ability of the community assistance program. And the community assistance program will be run by the Phoenix Fire Department and increasing their presence throughout the city of Phoenix. And these are the folks who will respond to critical incidents, usually involving folks who are having a mental crisis of some sort. In years past, be it right, wrong, or indifferent, in years past, the police have been the ones who have responded to that. And that's not the smartest way for us to deal with people in crises. And we understand that. And we think it's critically important that we put money to ensure the safe interaction with individuals who find themselves in that situation. And if we go to the next slide. That's the breakdown on what you're going to see. And let me take my glasses off so I can see it a little bit better. There's $132 million going for public safety, and that was part of the fire stations, the public assistance. And from a police standpoint, it is replacing two of the oldest police stations that we have. And actually, those are two of my last patrol precinct assignments, the Maryville precinct and the Cactus Park precinct. Both of those are aging infrastructures, so we need to replace those. So that is being done, but more than anything else, it deals with more fire stations, more fire equipment, all the things that we know are critical. You know, today's the anniversary of 9/11, and it's a solemn time in our country, obviously. And we look back at how much our firefighters sacrificed on that particular day. You know, they're out there on the front lines, and we feel as a city that what we have to do is provide them with all the necessary equipment, all the necessary tools that they need to be effective in their job. You'll see $63 million for housing, human services, and homelessness. A few weeks ago, Mayor Gallego appointed me as the chairperson of our Economic Development and Housing Subcommittee. And we are paying particular attention to the homeless problem that we're having in this country. More specifically in Phoenix, but we are having a significant problem throughout the country. And you'll see there's $26 million for environmental sustainability, $50 million for the arts and culture. Phoenix is growing in leaps and bounds. And for us to think that if we do not have a viable type of city, a place where people want to come to, where the arts and culture are abundant, we're sadly mistaken. It's, you know, people look for all the things that make a community a community. We have $38 million for economic development and education. Head Start programs and such. We all know, I know you guys know, that a good start for our children will only dictate an upward trajectory for them as they go through their lives. So it's critically important that we pay particular attention to that. $44 million for neighborhood and city services, speaks for itself. We want to ensure that all of our neighborhoods, and there's a variety of things that go into each one of these things, but we want to ensure that all of our neighborhoods are the types of neighborhoods we want to live in. Then another $64 million for parks and recreation. Next year is the anniversary for South Mountain Park, one of the largest city parks in the United States. It's getting, the trails are being refurbished, the roads, just a host of things that go along with it. And this will be a part of that. And then there's $81 million for streets and storm drainage. Not that we get a lot of water these days, but when it does happen, it's important that our infrastructure be up to speed so that we don't run into problems that you see in other major cities across the country. We are trying to be as forward-looking as we possibly can in this process. And that is why we think it's important for us to invest $500 million in all of these programs. And there are a host of programs, and you can go to the website of yesforphoenix.com, YESFOR, and spell out Phoenix, PHOENIX.com. And there's a plethora of information that you will find on these programs. It'll kind of break it down as to some of the things that we're looking for, that we're hoping to have. The way the ballot is set up, you will vote 1, 2, 3, and 4. If you vote yes on each one, that's what we get. The interesting thing about this process, it is all mail-in. The latter part of October, you will receive in the mail the ballot for each voter in your household. You have a chance just to mail it back in. You can drop it off at the county recorder's office or at City Hall. And if there are any other drop-off boxes, they will have those located, or they'll have those identified. But we are trying to the best of our ability to ensure that people really understand the importance of this program. I started to explain once before that it is basically, we would get these tax dollars from all the residents anyway. That's $1 or less than $1 per $100,000. 100,000 is set on your property value. It's pushed out. We just wouldn't be able to do all this as quickly as we can right now. The plan is to sell the bonds. Investors, groups, a host of things buy those $500 million worth of bonds. We have the money to invest in all these projects now. We pay it back with the property tax, secondary property tax. And in 5 years, we hope to identify more programs such as this and do it all over again. So with that, if there are any quick questions, I can answer that. But Paul made it very clear to me that I had less than a minute to go. And he has the big hook. So if there's any questions, we'll be around afterwards, but Pasquale is here also, and he's more of an expert on these things than I am. So with that, thank you very much. I do appreciate it. I heard the time.
I appreciate all my speakers staying on track so we can get done on time. Okay, so next slide is our treasurer's report.
Time's up.
All right, you want to give?
Treasurer's report for the month of August. Beginning balance was $24,592.95. We had contributions of $3,323.49. We had very little disbursements, $508.82. We have an ending cash balance of $27,407.62. Yeah, we are doing pretty good. For state committee members, you saw that we are one of the top districts who does a lot of fundraising, but we also spend a lot during the election.
And
So we do. We had a great turnout in the last 2 elections. People are talking about how we got the votes out. So we are still always looking to do fundraising and raising money by our lottery raffle baskets. Those are donated every single month.
So don't be buying raffle tickets. We also, of course, next slide, we always have merchandise. We always have something that you get, wear, put on your car, whatever it is. Please make sure you check it all out. We have great shirts for when you go canvassing and everything. But before we end our night, definitely want to hear from our legislators. I know I do. Mitzi, do you want to go up first tonight?
I'm just gonna say, hey.
Yeah.
They'll have all the scoops. There you go. Okay, so, I'm Mitzi Yatsayte. I'm your state senator. Thank you all for everything you do every day. You support our democratic values. Woo-hoo for you. Your state rep, Patty Contreras, and I were just over at the Keep Kyrie Strong kickoff. And we brought some party presents for you. So there are signs at the back of the room if you want to grab one on your way out. We brought the first 7. There will be lots more. Please do look around for them. And they will be here next month. So they'll have all the soup for you. But Keep Kyrie Strong is the name of the PAC that supports our bonds and overrides for our local school district. And so we housing, schools, and water. That's what we talk about in the Democratic Caucus every time we get together, because these are the most pressing topics we have. And today I actually took some notes to kind of keep me on track. I want to give you an idea of people have said, well, what's the scoop now that the session is done? What are you all working on? So we have a retreat, which is a treat, next Monday with the Senate Democratic Caucus. At that retreat, we will be planning how to work together and how to collaborate on housing, schools, and water, as well as all the other topics that our senators are working on. I am going to continue to work on trees and gardens in schools, because those are really great ways to get in under the radar of the Republicans to work in climate change. So, for only $400,000, we can put a lot more green things growing in our schoolyards, which helps our young kids developing lungs to be more healthy, better air quality, and actually address climate change with a direct improvement for extreme heat. A year where we really felt extreme heat is so upon us, and planting trees in schoolyards could not be more timely. Just this past Wednesday, you may have seen on social media, we had a celebration that the grants are open. If you know any schools that need trees, you can apply for it now. Your school district members know how to go on to the grants program and get it. Also, you can go to treesforkidsaz.org and learn all about the program and how your local PTO or Girl Scouts can help bring trees to a school too. With this caveat, I did intend to go for schools that are high free and reduced price lunch first. So schools that are in affluent areas will have to wait until January to apply, if there's any funds left. But my goal is to keep it going. Same thing for gardens in schools. Senator Alston and I worked hard on that. And then free period products in schools also. That is going to be rolling along. We have been working with the Department of Education. Yeah, give that some applause. Girls miss class, they miss full days of school because they just don't have the product. So it should be like toilet paper in the restroom. So we're gonna make that happen. And we only had to push back a little bit on the Department of Education to get them to see the light. So yay for bipartisanship. I am also going to continue to work on corporations should pay their fair share. So we all know that Bidenomics are working, and let's give up a big round of applause for Bidenomics are working. President Biden and Vice President Harris have got an administration that is rocking and rolling, and it's rocking and rolling the economy here in Arizona with TSMC and Intel, and it's all terrific. However, there's a little piece, part of it where the state of Arizona is paying for the water treatment plants and roads around TSMC and Intel, which is all very nice because we need these chip makers, computer chip makers in America. We need these in the USA to help the US economy. We need these chip makers to be manufactured here because we need them for everything. It's part of our homeland security, it's part of our Bidenomics, but I don't think Arizona should have to pay for the rest of the United States of America's homeland security. So I'm working to make sure that corporations pay their fair share. It's a convoluted bit of law and tax policy that I won't bore you with, but if you want to talk to me about it, I'll talk with you about it. But the bottom line is, I think that when a corporation builds and grows in Arizona, they should help contribute to our revenue to pay for schools. That's the bottom line. So, of course, I'll be working on schools. We have two really big issues in addition to ESAs and vouchers. We have a little celebrity with us. Can I introduce you? Kathy Bolts, please stand up and wave your hand. Kathy Bolts is a one-woman show with a whole lot of followers behind her who has been working with our state legislators to inform us about how ESA vouchers are going for the families with special needs kids who need them. And she's been just letting us know nuts and bolts, this is how it's working, it's not working. And I think that you're gonna be a great part of getting the whole thing to a better place. So one thing we need to work on in education is our ESA vouchers. They are a budget buster as it is now. We want to protect them for our special needs students. As it is now, though, it's just a train out of control. And kind of a mess in the administration, plus we don't know what is being taught. And I'm all for having a student who has special needs to find a school that's the parents think is great for their autism, for dyslexia, for whatever that might be. But I'm not okay at all with tax money funding a private school that teaches children that, gosh, it was nice for the slaves to learn a trade. There is no way that that can be acceptable, and I have seen curricula that our tax money is paying for at this moment that says the slaves learned a trade, so it wasn't all so bad for them, and it makes your stomach sick. Being a slave meant you were beaten and raped, and your children were taken away from you, and it was terrible and horrible, and there was nothing good that ever came out of it. And we cannot let our schools, our state tax dollars, pay for schools that are telling those lies to anybody. So,
Yeah.
Well, we don't want to get rid of them altogether. The Democratic caucus is firm for special needs students. We want them. But, you know, once the cat's out of the bag, we have a tricky, sticky wicket. So, no, there are no initiatives that I know of. And anything that might go to the ballot, we have to be really careful about because we really could get that Democratic majority this year, and then we can just do the things that need to be done. So we want to be careful about not overreaching and so on. So no, I haven't heard of anything about that. So yeah. Is your question, Kathy?
Yeah.
Chris?
So I'm born. There's two commercials out there. And I'd like to know if our tax dollars are paying for them. Because one of the issues is very discriminatory against public schools. Yes, it talks about, oh, ESAs are for private parochial schools. Well, excuse me, but if a parochial school gets tax exemption, why are we paying for them?
Just keep on singing that song. Why are, I don't know the answer to why are we paying for the private parochial schools that get tax exemption and also our tax dollars. There's something very wrong with that.
But is it appropriate that he's putting a commercial out there on television?
And yes, those, if you've seen them in some areas, he's really targeting them strong. There is $10 million of your tax dollars in this budget that was passed. If you want to know the reasons why I was so unhappy on budget night, little things like this in there that are awful. So yeah, there's $10 million in the budget for Superintendent Horn to spend on ads for ESAs. And he pulled back dual language, so yes, so that's, and the dual language is the second thing we've got to work on this session. I am hopeful, I want to leave you on an upbeat note, that dual language, our Republican colleagues know that the old idea of 4 hours of FEI and don't teach a child who's learning English anything else but English for 4 hours every day did not work. Our Republican colleagues know that. So they know that dual language is working, and they know that schools like Kyrene and Chandler do a great job with our dual language programs. I am hopeful we can come to an agreement with them and move forward on dual language so that Superintendent Tom Horn can stop with his lawsuits, because there are those who think that the law is on Superintendent Horn's side, but the people are on the side of helping students learn better and learn the best way they can, and that's what we're gonna get behind. So we're gonna go forward, and with your help, keep on doing this work. Thank you very much. Patty, tell them all about the kickoff.
We need to get that on our calendar. All right, thank you, Senator Epstein. So, yes, we are going to have a kickoff with Senator Epstein, myself, and Representative Travers on October 26th from 4 to 6, but we don't know where yet. So as soon as we figure out where that's going to be, we will let you know, and we'll invite you all to come to it. We're thinking here, we're thinking someplace in Tempe, we're thinking different places. So, but as soon as you know, put it on your calendar. October 26th, wait, you got your calendars, and let's just put your calendars out there. October 26th from 4 to 6. I passed out some fact sheets from, if you didn't get one, probably just, there's some more around. It looks like we got them all from what Senator Epstein was talking about, the bond election for the Kyrene School District. And thank you to Councilman for coming by and talking about the Phx GO Bonds. As you know, I worked for the city of Phoenix for 31 years, and we were happy to have those bonds go through because we got new parks, we got new senior centers, we got new fire stations, we got lots of good stuff. So please, those of you who live in Phoenix, make sure you vote yes to that. Let's see, what have I been working on? So deed fraud, I talked a little bit about it last month, and I had a stakeholders meeting since last month, and we had about 75 people on a Zoom on a stakeholders meeting. A lot of county recorders, county treasurers, folks from the state, and then I had a meeting with the Department of Real Estate. But we are working on that, and we're looking at all different types of ways to help curtail that problem, to stop that fraud that's happening out. And as you know, I work with seniors. Well, maybe some of you don't know. I worked with seniors for many, many years, and part of what I want to do is make sure that they get as much as possible. And since seniors are the ones who have purchased their houses already, or have that as their place that they're going to live, and those houses are getting stolen from underneath them, and that's what we want to prevent. Other thing I'm working on is assisted living homes, so that we can ensure that our clients are getting appropriate care, and that as assisted living homes get fined, which is just $500, and $500 goes for anything, you know. So I had a client, constituent that came by, and her mom actually passed away as a result of being in an assisted living home. And, you know, we think those fines are too small, so we're going to try to increase that, but also get some other protections in that, so those folks that own those homes can't just trade it off to their cousin and make it new again, type of thing. So that's something I'm working on. I have a stakeholders meeting for that coming up in a couple of weeks. Let's see. We have conversations with Contreras on Friday at the Brick Road Coffee on Rural and the Highway, the 60, and that's been getting good response. I enjoy having folks come and visit with us. We get 6 to 10 people, and we just kind of talk about different issues. I have some young people coming in that come and talk. I have, you know,
all different ages. So if you want to come and just chat and ask questions, I would welcome you to come and do that. And maybe whenever we get these petitions, I'll have those available to have folks sign those. I have that every month, so come on down on Friday. Let's see what else here. Heat relief. As we talked about last month, I had spoken to the governor's office about making sure that we have some protections in place for our folks who are suffering from the heat. And in the interim, the city of Phoenix, and the council convention, I talked a little about this, has purchased a warehouse, and they're going to be remodeling it to provide some protection. It's not going to be in-house shelter, but it is covered shelter, which helps out. It's a warehouse that has covered parking. It's down in the district down there, same area. And they're gonna hopefully be remodeling and get that ready to roll for folks to be able to camp underneath those big shelters. Maybe get some fans and get some, things that can help keep people cool for that. Let's see, what else? Oh, I'm gonna be co-host of Red is the Night fundraiser for the Aunt Rita's Foundation. We're still looking for contributions for that. We're still looking for folks to buy a ticket and come to that. It is on September the 30th. You can go to auntritas.org, AUNTRITAS.org. If you're interested in coming down, they're gonna have a lot of entertainment. They're gonna have auctions and lots of fun, and myself and Assistant Minority Leader sometimes they are co-hosts for that, so he's in the house, are going to be co-hosts for that. So that should be a lot of fun. Looking forward to that. Let's see. I didn't bring my petitions today because I forgot. But you can go online. Oh, look, Carol has one here, so you can sign Carol's. But you can go online and sign them at goazsos.gov/WGZ8. WGZ8. So if you want to go online and sign those, that would be great. And let's see what else. Oh, every year after the session is over, they send out report cards for how we did. And well, myself and Senator Epstein and Representative Travers, we got Sierra Club, scored as well. I got an A. Yay! Did you get an A? You didn't look at her, so. Progress Arizona gave me an A+. Which is good. I haven't seen the bad ones. And Arizona Center for Economic Progress also, they scored me 100. So I know Mitzi, Senator Epstein and Representative Travers also scored very highly on those. So we appreciate recognition of at least what we're trying to do at the state legislature, fighting back against some of those bad bills, speaking up against those, and doing as much as we can to help promote our district and our state. That's what I have.
Thank you, Representative Travers is not able to attend tonight. She is overseas, but hopefully she'll be able to make it next month. Working on water. Oh, I like it. All right. So we've come to the part of our evening. We're going to do our bada bing raffle. Right after we do our raffle winners, we are going to open up the floor to any other business, new business. So if you have something you want to come and talk to us about, this will be yours. So, Joe, are you ready? I really want like a drum roll. Can you do a drum roll? There you go. Asking you shall receive. All right. Oh, good Lord. Okay.
Wow.
Look at you, but you do know that they can't hear you. Speakers with the signals over there. Go on.
Hi, everybody, Phx Central, Treasurer, Ryan, Bobby, thank you all so much for your generous donations, it's really appreciated. This does cost us a little bit of money, so we also have the cost of this one, the options, so I think it's for the bottom of the mouth, so So thank you very much for your donations. It's appreciated. Tonight we have two beautiful baskets made by our very own Chief Wade.
Woo!
Let's start with the wine and cheese. Sold 261 tickets. Wow. And the winning number is number 56. The winning number is Laura Spearman. And the second basket is going to be the picnic for 4. We sold 193 tickets on that one. Is 121. So, let's go here. And let's show gold.
Or to any business, new business, if you have something you want to talk to us about. Please.
Also, if you're a candidate, you can come up, introduce yourself. We'll give you 1 minute to tell us about yourself and what you're doing.
How you guys doing? Hey, I'm your current councilor in the city of LD Harris. I am running for re-election. My kickoff is October the 12th, and I'm excited about it. I hope that you guys come out. Already put out the Facebook post and everything else I can do. And I have my petition, so if you are a county resident, please go in the back and sign it immediately. I'm not gonna get into all the stuff I'm doing, but I wanted to make an announcement about couple things that's coming up. I am a big advocate on mental health. That's like one of my big platforms. So on October the 28th from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., we're gonna have a mental health walk downtown Chandler. I hosted the first one. It was really good. As you guys know, I did like hand-like visuals. So I'm really big into this mental health thing, especially working with our students and making sure that they're taken care of, as well as our adults. So on October 28th, from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., you can register and go. It's free. If you want to support the foundation that's helping out, when you go to the Eventbrite, the t-shirt is $20. It's just goes back to help support the organization. And I did tell you that October 12th is my big kickoff. You can go online, get you a ticket because of limited seating. It's going to be only so many can come. So please, if you can, it's only 90 minutes. Just come and say hi, kick it with your boy, take some pictures. I'm sure all my friends are going to be here. Everyone should come out and check it out. So with that being said, thank you so much.
Together, Paul.
I know. Hi, my name is Nikki Amberg. I am actually running for Tempe City Council. I know there's a lot of people up there, so I'm gonna make this really quick. My background, I moved to South Tempe in '98 from Louisiana. I worked for the Senate Democratic caucus in the state Senate here. I was the communications director, the policy director. At the very end, I was the chief of staff there. I also have worked on a lot of Tempe campaigns, a bunch of Harry Mitchell's state Senate and his congressional campaigns. I worked for Mark Mitchell's city council and mayor races. I actually worked for Corey's in his last election, and Shanna Ellis and a few other city of Tempe elected officials. I am also a fundraiser for nonprofits. So I've been on a ton of nonprofit boards. I've actually got a little PTSD in this building because it used to be a Chuck E. Cheese. And I spent a lot of time here with Wagner, KMS, Corona, those doing fundraisers here. I'm also currently on the Big Brothers Big Sisters board, actually with OD. And I am on the National Charity League board. I've been on a few state boards for lacrosse.
That's a little bit about me. I'm gonna stop maybe in another one. I will talk to you guys about my platform, but that's just my background. So I got my petition back there. If you guys haven't signed, are 3 of them already. I also have a friend of mine who is running for Tempe Union High School District. I have her petition as well back there. So if you live in that district, but not in Tempe, that one's back there as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Corey Woods, mayor of the wonderful city of Tempe. Talking about. So just a very quick announcement, actually. So many people hear about things in the newspaper about large businesses and corporate locates that come to the city of Tempe and to the state of Arizona. But what people many times don't recognize is that small businesses actually create the majority of jobs in our community. And so this coming Sunday, September 17th, we're actually going to have a fundraiser at the Tap Room, the longest running live music venue in the city of Tempe, which was started by the parents of Rodney Who back in 1972. So it's been around for 51 years. And we're actually in the process right now of working with a team led by Rodney and another developer to redevelop the space, but to maintain the live music and arts culture and also add additional affordable workforce market rate housing to that site. But in the interim, we're inviting you to come out and celebrate small businesses coming Sunday between 4:30 and 6 p.m. at the Yucca Tap Room, which is the southwest corner of Mill and Southern, which is at the Old Canal Plaza place. So please come out and take a look, scan the QR code, and we're looking for more people that may want to be added to the host committee. $10 and invite 10 of your friends, and we will list you on the host committee. We are trying to include as many people as possible, and I would love to see each and everybody there this Sunday. Thank you.
All righty. Hey, good evening. My name is David Lucier. Some of you know me as a veteran of a U.S. Army Special Forces Vietnam combat veteran with civilian service in both Iraq and Afghanistan. I was also honored to be inducted into the Arizona Veterans Hall of Fame upon my return. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm running for city council, and just want to give you a quick backgrounder here. I'm also a PC and a state committee person. I have experience in education, job, wellness, public safety, arts and culture, homelessness, planning, and land use. So I feel it's fairly qualified. Professionally, I was the youngest assistant treasurer for country's largest, one of the large telecommunications company, certainly one of the youngest New York Stock Exchange listed companies. I built homes in Northern California and helped start up several companies in the Silicon Valley. My community leadership is pretty broad. Community Development Corporation, I was a past board member and instrumental in its formation. They call it the Newtown CDC. Here in the city of Tempe, I participated in the Police Citizen Review Board. I was I chaired the Municipal Arts and Culture Commission, helped found the Veterans Commission here yeah. That's it?
Yeah, that was a short minute.
So what happens when you're old, you got a resume that won't quit. So, so Catholic Charities, homelessness. I started my own nonprofit when it comes to veterans. So I've got my signature back there. If you can't sign it tonight, we've got you can do it online. Okay. Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm back again, Doreen Garland. I am currently on the Tempe. I'm currently on the Tempe City Council, and I have really enjoyed my time so far. The mayor is a lot of fun, and that energy you see, it does not stop. I keep asking him if he's got a little plug that I can stick on him and get charged up during the day. So I got on city council. I did 30 years of Girl Scouts, Little League, PTOs, boards, commissions, all of those things. And I've really enjoyed kind of continuing a lot of the things that I've worked on for many years. And that's caring for those most vulnerable in our community. And right now working really hard with the mayor to try to find more affordable housing in the city of Tempe and finding different ways and creative ways to try to get us more affordable housing. I want to just reach out real quick. You can go onto my website at garlandfortempe.com and there's more information about me. And if you guys are ready, if you guys have your phone out or a piece of paper, I'm going to give you my phone number, my personal number. Please reach out. I can also give it to you if you want to come in the back. It's 480-540-2001. Please reach out. I'd love to sit down and have coffee with you, talk to you a little bit about the city. And we are having a fry bread taco canvassing. So you want to get a hold of me. I'm just saying. Thank you so much. I should have. They would have paid for it.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Hugo Tapia, and I'm actually running for Tempe City Council. So I know I've spoken here before, but I want to introduce myself to some of you. I'm a psychologist. I actually work for Tempe Union High School. I've been a psychologist for over 20 years. And I've worked in a lot of different things. But what I really focus on is really human relationships, right? And I think it's important that we recognize that that's really what creates change. And really working on developing empathy with our communities is really where I like to bring to the council. And also focusing on developing really a healthy community, really that deals with a lot of the needs that our communities have. From really working with the unsheltered, to working with mental health, to working with really basic needs that people have. I'm the chair of the Human Relations Commission for the City of Tempe, and we've been doing a lot of really good work with them. So I'm getting the hook over here. So, but it's a pleasure to be here with you all. And I look forward to maybe chatting a little bit.
January.
Hello, my name is Armando Montero. I am the president of the Tempe Union High School Governing Board. I was able to speak with you last month, so just wanted to briefly come up and speak and say that I am running for re-election. Would love to have your support. A little bit about me: I graduated from the district as of 2019, was elected in 2020, youngest person to serve on the board in the history of Tempe Union. Shout out to all the student leaders out in the back, and shout out to Mark. And since then, we've been able to do some amazing things. I led the committee to pass the most comprehensive mental health policy in the state. We passed policies and resolutions around LGBTQ protections, school safety, and health. We've actively raised staff salaries for all of our employees, particularly for our classified employees. We're in the midst of completely restructuring our governance model. We focus on outcomes data driven, which sounds simple, but not simple. It takes a lot of work to really shift and align all of our goals. We've hosted and made our first board goals the first time in 13 years. So our first board self-evaluations before I was born. Revamped our superintendent governance or evaluation tool, our self-evaluation tool. And because of that, we won the Arizona School Board Association, the top award for the most effective governing board in the state last September. And so it wasn't always
Really quick, I just want to let everybody know we are going to have all of the Tempe City Council candidates who get enough signatures and get on the ballot. We will have them in January for a forum. And a reminder that as an LD, because it is a contested primary and there's more people running than seats are available, the LD itself has to remain neutral, but we always welcome you to be here and talk to us. So thank you guys for coming.
Okay. I have one correction before I'm gonna close the meeting. On the agenda, there was an incorrect code for the Bada Bing. Are you timing me?
No,
On the agenda, there was the QR code was incorrect for the Bada Bing raffle. It looks like 3 people bought tickets from there. We are gonna roll your tickets over to next month. So you will keep, Joe has the list, I have Molly,
Mark and AJ. Was there anybody else that used the QR from the paper? But we'll double check after Lou said that, so we're very, very sorry. See, we need people to come and proofread on the executive board. Come on, so. With that being said, I am gonna go ahead and close the meeting. It is 8:10 PM. Thank you very much.
I know, I was like. I love it. When I start doing that, you guys make me do.